Good morning. Well, at least good morning, Australia. I'm not on the algorithm, so I think I'll just sit here and see if anyone actually. Casper, g'day, Groover. How are you, mate? Happy Saturday morning. Hang on a sec. Hi. How you doing, mate? What's planned for your weekend? Miss Kay, hello. Hi, Bristol. Good. Yay. So some of you got notifications. At least that's promising. I was just reading about Laurie Vallow's guilty verdict. What a couple of big cases with guilty verdicts in the last week. Letitia and Laurie, goodbye, you trashy human beings, and good riddance. I'm live now because I was going to go live a tiny bit later. Hey, Scout. Oh, beautiful Sunny. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. Oh, it's moving. Auntie Scout says hello, Sunny. That's the look of love. Plan is to take a nap. Oh, it's already like that, hey? I wake up at 5 a.m, so like 10:30 feels like lunchtime and, midday feels like nap time. I had such a massive weekend last weekend. Like, it was amazing and lots of fun. Like, just caught up with so many beautiful people that I love. But it was absolutely non-stop. And I'd also had a really full-on week at work. And so when Monday rolled around for work, I was so tired because I was like, I hadn't actually really had any time off. Like, I went for a beach walk both days for half an hour because it's about as much as my knee can cope with. And that was really the time out that I had. So yeah, Monday I was absolutely stuffed. Then I got to work from home on Tuesday, which was really good. And then my days off were just action-packed. Yesterday at work was really full on. I'm very excited to have a nice quiet weekend. I'm catching up with a beautiful girlfriend tonight. So we just like to have lots of laughs and chill out. But I messaged her earlier and said, can we kind of catch up like at 5-ish onwards rather than 7? Because I don't know if I'm going to be awake after 9. I just need an early night, a good snoozer. I have lured you all here. You'll try and be PG, Joey Wilson? Don't you dare. I know I was roboting yesterday, but when you kept telling me to park on the rooftop for better reception, I was saying, if you had a dislocated kneecap and you're in a car park without a lift and you've got to lug a heavy suitcase full of office equipment, not only down but up 10 flights of stairs, would you do that? I chose looking after my knee over rooftop reception. Turns out the whole town, like where we are, the internet was really playing up with a lot of people, but also in my building, everyone that's with Telstra, we all had 0 bars on our phones for a lot of the day. So I don't know what was going on, but it was happening earlier in the week too. I have lured you all in here to ask you a huge favour, which I never ask you guys favours. I need money to buy a new iPhone. No, I don't. I'm not Bullhorn Betty. But I was going to go live a little bit later when I will actually be live on Monday. I'm doing a YouTube live on Monday for my work. Next week is the riveting and exciting Law Week. Yay! It's not actually a week where you celebrate lawyers, though. We never celebrate it. We're always criticised. But it's a week where we, as lawyers, get to inform the community of the fabulous things we do, apparently. So I was asked to come up with an idea for work because we're doing all kinds of random things, including like a nighttime clinic with free pizza and visiting community legal centres and community groups and houses, and we're getting out there. So I said, hey, why don't we try a YouTube live? Bit of a Q&A. I'll let you guys know a bit about where I work and what we do. And there's also going to be sort of like, I've already told my boss that YouTube is more interactive and people chat and ask questions. So I'm kind of asking you guys to consider subbing to the Work YouTube channel, which currently has an impressive 5 subscribers. 3 of them are my YouTube channels. This one, Sleuths and Smooth Criminals, and the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. I have dropped the link in, well, I've pinned the link, but I'm going to drop it again. So at the very least, if you could sub, but there's also a live setup for Monday. It'll be from 12 to 1:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. But if you hit the notification bell, it'll let you know what time it will be for you, Groovers. But if any of you are around and you feel like just rolling on in and pretending to be Tasmanian workers who have questions about workers' comp or worker assist, that'd be awesome. My boss isn't expecting a live with 50,000 people. It is the first time we've ever done it, but it would be good if we had, 1 or 2 people hanging out with me over the lunch break. Not our lunch break. Our lunch break goes for half an hour. But yeah, so it'll be lunchtime in Australia on Monday. I mean, at the very least, if you could subscribe so I can show that I have been flogging the channel on my channels, and I'll be doing another one, at least another live this weekend, but I'll be doing one on Sleuths and Smooth Criminal as well, where I'll be asking for people to sub up to the website. Sorry, my camera's probably going to shake a little bit because I've got a spin cycle on at the moment in my washing machine and the whole house rattles. So if you think, whoa, we're on a ship, no, it's just my house. It's rocking, so don't bother knocking. No, please knock. Give me a break from doing my washing. So how is everyone? How you're doing? I just right before I went live was walking and my knee did that clicky poppy thing that it did when it popped out. I'm like, So the brace will be going back on for a while and I'll be soldiering on with my exercises, which are riveting, but they are actually effective, I've discovered. Thank you so much, Bristol. StreamYard chat isn't moving. It's stuck. So hang on, I'll get over onto YouTube. You guys, I was thinking you're all just going, oh, she's asked us a favour. Piss off, Tor. Sure, where is it? So yeah, the link is pinned and I dropped it in chat as well. And yeah, if you could subscribe, and if anyone is around, 9 subscribers. Thanks, Casper. Over in the on the channel, he's mentioned that he's sub. Brilliant, thank you. I understand a lot of you may not be around, unfortunately, but for those who are, if you want to, if you can get your Tassie on, that'd be awesome, Miss K. Thank you, Bristol. Blissful, hello, Blissful. Your name has been abbreviated. Good to see you. You're sitting on a frozen bag of vegetables. What have you done to your bum? Have you hurt your coccyx? Oh, hang on. My washing machine's going to beep for the next 2 minutes. Hang on a sec. I'll be back. A bit unimpressed with StreamYard chat phrasing, and I can't refresh the page or anything because it will boot me. Hang on a sec. Where'd I go? She's back. Yeah, what have you done, Blissful? You hurt your back leg, your right side, your klutzy. Yeah, I'm klutzy too. All set, your sub, tap the notifications, and a thumbs up. Thank you, Scout. Put the clothes in the dry bristle. Yep, hop to it. Sit on the washer on spin for a Saturday delight. Casper. Casper. Desperate Housewives. I'm sorry to hear, though, about your, where are you subbing? Oh, I'm on Sleuths and Smooth. There you go. I don't know if it'll let me post a link. Hang on, I'll have to make myself a moderator. Oh, I can't because I'm not on. I thought I was on Tasmania Calling. I'm not. I'll drop it again in the chat. Maybe in StreamYard, if I drop it again, it'll bring in the chat. No, it hasn't. StreamYard, I pay you good money every month. But there's also, the link is also pinned, Miss K. Thank you, Scout. Yeah, Fallow got the guilty verdict or guilty verdicts. Yes. Yes, she did. What a horrible woman. But isn't it nice to know that Letitia and Laurie, see ya, off you go, fuck off. Horrible, horrible, horrible women. You're klutzy, Miss K? How many klutzes have we got? So, I mean, I've got an hour and a half for this live that I'm doing. Oh, double figures. Woot, woot. And 5 thumbs up. You guys are awesome. You guys are champions. Thank you so much. I mean, look, if I get a couple of people in, at least it will show that it drew a crowd of 2. And like I said, my boss isn't expecting, like she doesn't YouTube, so she's not aware of the realities of YouTube and so on. But just getting a couple of people will be great. And I've got like we're promoting it through work, so hopefully some legit Tassie workers will rock in as well. But I've explained to her that it's very conversational, but I have got like a PowerPoint presentation thing. So I'll be able to show slides and that might promote some questions and, yeah, hopefully it'll be a bit of fun. I want it to obviously to be really informative and let people know what we do and so on. It's a bit of an awareness thing and also just a test run to see if it's something that we could also do as an ongoing thing. Like we do a lot of training for health and safety reps, and we also speak to doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists and let them know about the service that we provide, and it could be a really good medium for us if it works. So, yep, no $200 goes straight to life in jail. Wait, what? The mother of Aiden Fucci got 30 days in jail and 5 years probation for washing his jeans. What was that? Is it like an accessory after the fact? Why isn't the Aiden Fucci thing? Hang on. Oh, Tristan Bailey. Wow. So the mum, has she been evidence tampering? Crystal Smith pleaded no contest, 30 days in jail, 5 years probation. Ooh. That was such a vicious murder. Like, talk about overkill. It was horrible. You thought she'd get more time. I reckon that's why there was no contest, because she was told it was going to be 30 days. She's probably like, oh, suck that up. I mean, I know he got the maximum he could get. I don't know what the maximum sentence for tampering with evidence is. Hang on, let me have a look. It's Florida, wasn't it? Well, penalties of up to 5 years in prison or 5 years of probation and a $5,000 fine. Ah, let me have a look at the legislation. Tampering with or fabricating physical evidence. Alter, destroy, conceal, or remove any record, document, or other item with the purpose to impair its verity or availability in such proceeding or investigation. A person who violates these subsections commits a felony of the third degree. Yeah, there's 3 different sentencing options. Let me open them up. Oh, wow, this is full on. Because it starts at the top. This section starts with murder, and I'm scrolling, and I'm still with murder. Oh, no, we've moved on. Oh, no, murder's still there, and treason. Yeah, okay. I don't have the time for that, Rabbit Warren, but yeah, it looks like they opted to give her the 5 years of probation and then the 30 days. There's no mention of. They probably threw her in jail for 30 days instead of, because they couldn't get money out of her by the looks of it or the sounds of it. Thanks for subbing, Miss Kay. I'll see you over there on the worker assist page. Cheers, Groover. Now I've got to go back to YouTube because my chat still ain't moving in the stream out. Betty damn boop. Aloha. You reckon old CW is? What? What do you reckon he is, Joey? Good to see you, Betty Dambo. Not to mention him. You can mention him. This is just a chat to lure in some people to see if I can get you to sub up to the worker assist page, which you guys have done. Thank you so much. And hopefully on Monday, I'm actually going to be going live in 25 hours. Oh, 11 subs now. Woo-hoo. I'm going to be going live from home. My boss said, I really like it when we do, like, if I'm working from home and we do a Zoom chat. She said, I really like the background. And I was like, you sure you don't want me sitting in an office looking all lawyery? And she was like, no, do it at home. So the workers of Tasmania are going to get to see the inside of my house. But I hope you've noticed I've got my Bullhorn Betty printer ready to go. Now, that printer is so tiny. It's fantastic. Get one of those, Bullhorn. It cost me $50 best. And even the cartridges are about $45 twice a year, but they last 6 months. It's a little Bluetooth jobby. I love it. It's It's absolutely tiny. It's not a clunky 1987 printer and scanner, aka Bullhorn. So what did you think about CW? After 3 years, she can ask for lesser time on probation for good behaviour. Interesting. You're with my boss. What about the house? I just kind of thought, don't get me wrong, we work in a very busy building, and even if we're in my office, which is like a little back cave, setting everything up, I'd have to move furniture around. With my dicky knee, I'm not really keen to do that. And the other girls are out and about on the Monday doing stuff for Law Week as well. So, yeah, the setup being already here and good to go, might as well do that. I've got an itchy scalp. I used a new shampoo that's meant to be organic, and it's doing my head in literally. But I'm in the garden and doing a lot of mucking out under the house and stuff today, so I'm washing my hair a bit later. It's not mega filthy. I only washed it 2 days ago, but the shampoo's just giving me the itchies. So CW on surveillance, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? So what big case is everyone going to be following now? I mean, obviously we've got the hearing for Brian Koberger coming up in June, but the preliminary hearing is really just a step in the proceedings. I don't think there's going to be anything overwhelming that comes out of it. It's kind of, from what I can gather, it's sort of like the full version of the probable cause affidavit in the form of a court hearing, just to show they have sufficient evidence for it to proceed to trial. That's my understanding of it. We've obviously got Chad now to deal with. From Tasmania will be more relaxed. Well, I mean, my office is in Tasmania too. Yeah, so we've got Idaho coming up. We've got Chad, Daybell. There's a few that are going to keep the channels busy. I've been meaning to do a live for a few weeks now. When I might try and do it this weekend, because some of the Australian media has actually really surprised me, and it's so in keeping with what Sleuths and Smooth Criminals is about, just in terms of speculating without facts. But where this particular case, it's just happened, or story, it's not a case, has just happened in Australia, it's not so much pointing out, you know, what we call the death vultures, the online sleuths, the citizen sleuths, although it does weigh into how irresponsible media reporting feeds people like that. And it also looks at people's need for information when somebody has died, even though the family at that point still may not even know what had happened. And yet you've got these thirsty members of the public who never knew the person, expecting and demanding to know what happened. And a few media outlets, I found one article that I was like, oh, this is awesome, I'm going to do it. And then I thought about doing a little video and using that article. Then I found a second article, and then I actually found a TV show that covered this need for people to be given all the information. And when they're not given the information, then they speculate on things that they believe they know. And then they put really horrific stuff out there about, you know, their theories of what might have happened, and just the impact it has on the families and friends and loved ones of someone who's died. And yeah, so I'm actually pretty proud that some Australian media outlets are calling this shit out as well. And although I know when I do my live, like, it's not going to be possible to ever change human nature at all. So it's not a case of me covering this to say, you people need to change the way you think, but it will be food for thought, I hope. And I hope someone does stumble onto that live that I do and has a think about their behavior and how it would make them feel if it was their family member that was just being slammed so viciously in the media world or social media world. You know, maybe someone may change the way they think. I doubt it, and I'm not doing it for that reason, but I'm doing it because I'm really pleased to see that a lot of media outlets are now seeing that this stuff is getting so destructive and hurtful and out of control that they feel the need to report on it. Like, it's making me feel proud to be an Aussie, actually, that the media, some media outlets have chosen to call this stuff out and call out other media outlets for their bullshit and call out how those media outlets are being irresponsible and feeding, you know, the community's need to know information and their thirst for gory details. It's kind of interesting. So that'll be a live that I'm going to do on the weekend. And Hopefully, you guys will find it an interesting one. It's still a very fresh story, and for Aussies in chat that are watching MasterChef, it's a very different season this year because of the sudden death of, and I'm not doing hashtag sudden death, the unexpected death of Jock Zonfrillo, who was one of the judges, who died literally the day that the new season of MasterChef was supposed to screen. They put it off for a week, and MasterChef fans are enjoying the season and enjoying seeing Jock, but knowing he's only just died, it's very bittersweet. That's for sure. Oh, the West Boys too, yes. Joey doesn't think they got the right peoples. Hoping for a guilty verdict for the West Boys, Orrin and Orson, and the Idaho case and the Daybell case. Aiden Fucci's mum was caught on camera washing his pants. Boom, guilty. Oh, you reckon Chris Watts, when he washed the sheets and everything? Did anyone hear about the 93-year-old cold case that was solved this month? No, I didn't. What is it, Blissful? Oh, you'll have to tune into my live, Joey, to find out. A 2-year-old was kidnapped and they used DNA to trace her. It's amazing. Oh, do you know the name of that? I don't normally cover kids' cases though, but that's awesome. A 93-year-old cold case. Mind you, it's 93 years. Like, it's unlikely anyone who knew her is still alive. According to Bing, Bing. Yeah, you lost me at Bing, Joey. Banfield are credible. No, they're definitely not. They're definitely not. They're a nightmare. News Nation are a tabloid that feeds the citizen sleuths and their frenzy. Yeah, bad news. I regret now, like, Banfield was doing a lot of stuff with the Idaho 4 case that I wanted to react to her and absolutely ream her. And it just got so out of control, and people were just so fired up and riled up by her terrible reporting, and it just watching it snowballing out of control. And yeah, part of me really wanted to cover it. And then another part of me was like, when I'm bouncing around on YouTube, the people I respect in chat and some creators, do I respect any creators? Couple. All think she's a bullshitter anyway, so I didn't really see the point, because the people that listen to Banfield and think she's amazing are not the people I want hanging out on my channel. Nor do I want their snark in my comments either. So I chose not to. You can't remember the name. That's all right. Let me Google it. Google, not Bing it. Toddler's mysterious kidnapping, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Luann DeVries. Oh no, hang on. Maroney. Okay, sorry. Luann DeVries is a family member. Mary Agnes Maroney, kidnapped in Chicago. A social worker, in inverted commas, a woman pretending to be a social worker kidnapped her. Wow. Um, She kidnapped her and she's not going to bring her back. 5 decades later, Luann DeVoe's great aunt set her on a mission to solve a mystery. And they were doing a bit of DNA stuff. They found a potential grandchild of Mary Agnes. And then they found her daughter living in Florida, mailed her a DNA kit, tested it, came back that she would be a daughter of Mary Agnes. Mary Agnes grew up, got married, had children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. She ended up living a happy, fulfilled life, which makes her Chicago family, her biological relatives, very happy to know. For 93 years, they were wondering what happened. Was she killed? Was she living happily? Was she trafficked? Her parents had never given up. They never stopped looking until they died. And then, oh my God, they made their kids promise to keep looking, keep trying to find your sister. And they all didn't give up either. The woman who was born Mary Agnes Moroney died in Florida in 2003. But they had to close the investigation because there was no one to question, no one to prosecute. Wow. There you go. I guess at least her, the new generation of people born below her babies and their babies and so on, at least they know what happened to her, and she led an amazing life. Oh, Scout knows the name too. Sorry, I was on a completely different page. They did keep searching. How beautiful. Joey needs a smoke. Hey, Texas. How you doing, Groover? The woman that kidnapped her had lost her husband and daughter shortly before the kidnapping. That happens a bit, doesn't it? Same as the women that kill the pregnant women and steal the babies, and scary stuff. Scary stuff. But anyway, I'm going to drop the link one more time to see if there's any last-minute subs who want to go over and support my work, my work's website, YouTube page. There's also on the channel, if you go to the main page, because that's the page where the live is, but we've got Facebook and LinkedIn and a website and so on if you want to jump onto any of those, or if you know of any Tasmanians who might find our service available, please feel free to share that around. We're the only service of this kind in Australia, which we're pretty proud of that fact. And yeah, if some of you are able to join me on Monday, that'll be so much fun. So much fun. Well, it's dry. It's a dry subject. I shall make it fun. If anyone, though, is super cheeky and comes up with some in-depth act-related question, I will be suggesting you contact the service on or via one of the methods that will be scrolling across the bottom of the screen on the ticker, as it is a more in-depth question requiring a more in-depth response. And so you can contact the office to book yourself in with one of our lawyers to ask them that question. Please don't do an exam on my knowledge of the Act and sections of it, because I know a few of them, but I wouldn't put it past one of you to do something like that. Good to hear you're doing good, Texas. So, yeah, we've got some trials that'll be coming up, and every channel under the sun will be covering them. I'm very keen to obviously have a look at the preliminary hearing for the Idaho murders. But like I was saying earlier, to me, it's like a courtroom version of the probable cause affidavit. It's really just to show all the evidence that they've got. They're good to go. In fact, they don't even have to show all. They just have to show enough to warrant it going to trial. So, I mean, I'm curious to see if they call the surviving witnesses or they decide to leave that for the trial and not put them through that twice. There's definitely going to be some, in other words, you have to behave. You don't have to behave, no, but I might be a bit selective with the comments I read. Did I see your comment up there, Tor? I saw that you were going for a ciggy. Oh, because the Moscow, hang on. All right, so I saw the Banfield one are credible, because I've been looking at all the ones mentioned in the Coburger media gag order motion thingy. Yep, because the Moscow police tell everyone to only listen to them and credible news outlets. And boom, when Brian was arrested, they answer a News Nation question in their conference. That means they're saying they're credible. What do you reckon? No, I don't think it does, because there's no... With a media, like with a press conference, media outlets can rock up and be present. That's why they hold them. So, I mean, Bullhorn Betty, I think, was it Bullhorn Betty, or there's a few YouTubers that are not actually journos who've rocked up to press conferences to ask a question, whether they've succeeded or not. But you can't stop. Like when I was working in media, we would get a press release letting us know there was going to be a press conference. And if it was something we wanted to cover, we'd send one of our journos down to cover it. But there's no sort of, like, the press release goes out to everyone in the media. And if you are covering it, or it's a story that you want to put into your news hour or whatever type of thing. I mean, we were doing radio, but we had a news segment at the top of every hour. And you'd rock up. People being at a press conference doesn't mean that the police or whoever's holding the conference think that everyone in the room is credible. Is that what you're asking, Joe? Let me know. You notice they're not named in the gag order papers. Yeah, I can't comment on that. I don't know enough I haven't read the gag order papers for ages. But I wouldn't be saying, well, I don't know about the gag orders and who was specifically named in that. I don't know if they have to name every single media outlet. I'm not sure. I can't really answer that component. But in terms of media attending a press conference, that isn't a sign that whoever's holding the conference believes all of the media there are credible. But yeah, the gag order stuff has certainly been... I'm trying to think of a channel I can put you onto who might have... Maybe your buddy Peter might have covered the gag order in a bit of detail, or maybe Emily D. Baker, if you can handle her style of delivery. I think she's a fascinating woman, but she's just too in your face and loud for me. She knows her shit, but it's like I find just keeping up with her really hard. My brain is like, and I talk really quickly, and my brain moves a million miles a minute. And my sister needs to ask me to slow down sometimes, but Emily's like next level me. Emily, hello, beautiful. Yeah, Joey, like I said, I don't know. I haven't been following it at all. But Peter's, as you know, I mean, you put me onto him. I think if he's covered it, your answers will be in his segment for sure. I mean, it's possible that they didn't even get mentioned in the gag order because they're not even regarded as media outlets. I don't know. I'm speculating now. I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe the Moscow PD didn't want to boost News Nation's egos any further by singling them out or mentioning them. Who knows? What Scout mentioned? Oh, are you talking about Henrietta Blissful? It's horrible. I mean, Henrietta is going to be, I think, a precedent-setting case, or at least a bit like the Jill Meagher murder that happened in Australia and Sarah Cafferty, where Australia, and particular the state of Victoria's parole board, were dragged into the spotlight and like viciously viciously scrutinized. Like, that's the word I'm using. Like, they did not leave even a crumb of sand unturned and exposed them for their failings and brought about a whole new system. I mean, it was long overdue. It was long overdue. But the little bit that I know about Henrietta, it sounds like it's a similar situation where where the alleged perpetrator should never have been even out of prison to be able to commit the crimes that he allegedly has. So I think it's going to be it is a freaking nightmare, Emily. To be honest, I don't know enough about it to really go into a heap of detail about how I feel about it. I saw that people were talking about it on YouTube and I Googled it. I always do that, and just found a news report that I've considered to be a verified, decent report, just to see what it was, because I kept seeing it. It stood out to me because of the way Henrietta is spelt. Actually, that was what made me go, I wonder what that's about. So, yeah, when I had a look at it, from what I gleaned from that article, was that everyone is questioning how this dude was even out of jail. The other thing that I found very weird about the reporting, because I did look at probably 3 different articles, was the victims, like the 5 teenagers have sort of, it's horrible, but they've kind of become the what's the word? The media's only showing photos of the 5 teenagers, like the mum who was murdered as well. The articles always have photos of all the kids, but not her, and I don't know why. Wasn't it because of COVID? Huh? It's 2.5 hours from you, Bristol. Isn't it weird when things happen and it's not that far away? I mean, we had a murder here a couple of months ago now, family violence murder, and I've taken you guys on quite a few drives through the town where she was murdered, and it's only like half an hour from here. In that particular one, though, sadly, for some reason, when it's family violence and the perpetrator's caught, and it doesn't make me feel scared or anything like that. But if if you were living next door to a house where there was a really brutal murder and the perpetrator was on the run, and it didn't seem, it seemed to be a bit of a random attack, that would be terrifying. I mean, that's one of the things I think with the Moscow murders, for all of those kids and staff and people living in that town after it happened, like all the public were going, oh, it's going to, not all the public, but, there are people on YouTube going, oh, the case is going cold. They got him in 8 weeks, whether or not he's the perpetrator. They got someone within 8 weeks. That's so quick. And again, people need to look at what cold case actually means. But again, it was sort of like the people that were actually living there and didn't have a clue who might have done it, and like how significantly that would have altered all of their behavior. And who was the murderer who favored girls that were brunette with long hair? I think it was someone in New York, and women just started cutting their hair really short so they didn't end up in his spotlight, because he was out and about and continued to murder. Oh, they were letting people out of jail earlier because of the pandemic. Son of Sam with the brunettes, yeah. What did they call that program? Nitram. I mean, I know it's Martin backwards, but I suppose it's so they don't say his name. Because we don't in Tassie, we try not to say his name, but maybe that's why they called it that, Nitram. The link, Emily, I'm going to drop it again. Oh, hang on, that's me over on YouTube. It's also pinned, yep. I'm going live on Monday for my workplace. It's the first ever YouTube live. Oh, 11 subscribers still. So maybe if you could sub to Emily, that would be awesome. We're not live in 24 hours. Why does it say May the 14th? It's not tomorrow. Okay, I need to check out what's going on there. That's strange. Why is it? I can't change it at the moment or look into it because I'm live on StreamYard. I didn't even think about it when I said 25 hours earlier. I better check the date, because that would not be... Actually, let me see if I can open a second StreamYard. I've never tried to do this before while I'm live. Oh. Oh, it does say May the 14th. God, I'm an idiot. Hang on a sec. I ain't going live tomorrow. May the 15th. Phew, Groovers. So glad the penny dropped when I was looking at that just then. I'm such a bimbo that I could have... Yeah, I might have been getting text messages from Scout going, you're meant to be live. Bundy light brunettes, Son of Sam blondes. I had a run on brunette wigs. And I think people also, they cut their hair really short. Was that his nickname at school? Hi, Cass. A favour? No, I can tell you what it is. I'm doing first ever YouTube live for my workplace on Monday, the 15th of May. So it'll be Sunday for anyone in the US of A. It'll be at midday-ish. Well, it will be 12 to 1:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Monday. And I'm just asking you groovers to be super wonderful and click the link that's pinned or it's been dropped in chat a lot. 13 subscribers. Whoop, whoop. And if any of you are around on Monday when I go live and you feel like dropping in and pretending to be Tasmanian workers with questions about what Worker Assist does, or want to know questions or answers to questions about workers' comp, if you want to come in and be a renter crowd and pretend to be a Tasmanian worker, I'd love you to join in. It'd be good to get a couple of people at least. Like, I'm hoping I get about 10 or 12, but that's a big ask. But I'll also be going live on Smooth Criminal or Sleuths and Smooth Criminals over the weekend as well, to also see if I can get some people subbing up from that side as well. That channel is way smaller, like it's half the size of this one, but it hits the algorithm and it's still growing. I haven't done a lot of content lately, but it's moving. So, and there's people in that community that don't know about this one. Secretly, I'm so very excited you're doing your work live stream at home. We get to see beautiful Sunny Bum. Gratuitous Sunny shot again. I don't know why StreamYard chat's frozen. That's a pain. She's actually snoring now, Scout. She's one content that she's so floofed up. Her head. My sister and I occasionally make her little fruit hats, little stack hats. And in summer, I've got to get, like, mandarins are perfect because she's got quite a small head, or a small orange. But when she's got her winter floof, her head doubles in size just from all the fur. She's just like twice she still only weighs 5.5 kilos, or I think she's 5.6 kilos in winter. Like, she gets about 100 grams of fluff. But yeah, she just doubles in size, poor little thing. Not poor little thing, I envy her. She's warm and snuggly. You can practice your accent. Cool. What would be epic if motherfucking Lynette asked questions? Oh my God. I haven't told my boss much about YouTube. So, yeah. I'll have to make some of you moderators too, probably. Because, yes, look, as much as I think it would be hilarious if MF Lynette, but I don't know, maybe we just let it go and have a look at it and see. It is part of we're a funded organisation, so, I don't want us to jeopardise our funding either. I hadn't thought that through, whether I need to get a mod in case we get trolls and stuff. Probably should get at least one mod in case we do get trolled, because that's a bit problematic maybe. But I don't know. It's going to be the first ever live. There's, you guys have subbed on, which is great. So it looks like we're growing. I'll be pleased to tell my boss we've doubled in subscribers since I went live. In fact, over doubled. But yeah, I think maybe having a, hey, Veruca Salty Salt, how you doing? Emily, don't stop it, you two. I have to think it through, because if they were asking questions and swearing, then they'll probably. I haven't thought about those settings and stuff because it's a work YouTube channel. It probably is going to need much stricter settings, like words that are not okay and that sort of stuff. That's actually, I'm glad we're having a chat, because, yeah, I'm going to have to make it a bit. I might actually watch a YouTube video about all the settings you should put on for a business channel. Because it's, content-wise, it's still going to be me being me and chatting away about an area of law that I work in, but it is at the end of the day still work-related, right? You promise to be good, Cass? You don't know me at all. Is that a Labor movement? Worker Assist? No. No, we originally were born under the umbrella of a union, but we've been incorporated for 11 years as an independent community legal centre. But save all of that stuff till Monday. I'll be telling you all about that then. But yeah, so no, it's not a labour movement. It's a free community legal. Well, it's a community legal. What do we call it? Centre that gives free advice to workers with workers' rights issues, including workers' comp. You're late to the party and not local, but if you want to rock up on Monday while I'm live, if you want to click the link that's pinned and subscribe to my work channel, and if you're around and want to pop in with a question about Tasmanian workers' comp, would love to see you. You have a question for my work? Hang on, just want to make a note to do the YouTube settings, because I think I'm going to have to put in quite a lot of words that will not allow comments to be published in chat. And yeah, I haven't done a business YouTube channel before, so I probably will do some research on that. There's plenty of YouTube creators that give you good tips for when you're setting up a business channel. You're amazing. You don't know me at all. How long do I have to stay with the lousy shop doctor? It is like legal aid, but we've got legal aid as well. And legal aid, where my sister works, funny enough, they don't do workers' rights and workers' comp and industrial law. So they refer to us. Scout's question. How does workers' comp work for people who are international employees? Scout, if you'd like to contact our office using the ticker below. That's a pretty in-depth question. And I'm not working today. I can't answer it. You might have to tune in on Monday to find out. But essentially, where you are injured is where your claim is. So there's a lot of, like, I worked for an American company. If I had broken my leg walking into the office in Sydney, my claim would have been that the injury happened in the office in Sydney. So my claim would have been a New South Wales workers' comp claim. Doodle Brown, thanks for subbing to the channel. 15 subscribers. We have tripled subs. Say it was worth it. It was worth it. Thank you so much, all of you, for doing that. No obligation on you to join in on Monday either. I mean, if you're around and there's nothing happening on the YouTubes that's exciting to you, then come over to talk about workers' comp and how I will make it fun. So as fun as I can. But it's kind of just going to be like a casual chat and asking, you guys get to ask some questions. I'm going to be asking you guys some questions too, and just hanging out. And it's really just to see if it's potentially a viable platform for us to use, which I believe it is. And I haven't even told. Oh, why didn't I think of that? No, it's probably a good thing we don't do it this time around. I haven't even told my boss that you can stream from multiple platforms at the same time either. So we could have Facebook, for example, because our Facebook page is quite active. I'm kind of wondering now if I should I can't. I don't have any of the details for Facebook, but I'll definitely mention that to her for the next one too. But you guys are amazing for doing that. I need to hang out that load of washing. It's also getting close to lunchtime and I'm hungry. Scout, thank you so much for dropping the link throughout this live. You do have to answer questions, but they're fun little icebreakers. It's not anything you won't already have an answer for, and it's not an exam for you guys about workers' comp. That my boss tweaked my presentation and included a slide that does ask, what do you guys know about workers' comp and stuff? But it's in the presentation, like it's a long way in, and I don't even know if we'll get to it. But even if we do get to it, I might say, oh, look, I actually want to go through the next thing, and I'll just skip on to the next thing, or maybe ask just one of, I think there's 3 questions. But no, at the start of the live, just while we wait for people to come in and see what kind of crowd we're going to get, hopefully we get one person. Otherwise, I'm going to be live for an hour and a half without anyone watching. That's going to be so strange. But yeah, it'll be questions like, it's not, but it'll be like, what color undies are you wearing? Like, it won't be, what section of the Workers' Rehabilitation and Compensation Act 1988 as amended relates to travelling overseas whilst on workers' comp? Won't be anything like that. So it'll be 10 p.m. What a riveting way to spend your Sunday evening. Hanging out with me, talking about workers' comp and industrial law and, yeah. Actually, funny you should say that, Doodle. I thought about that today. I really love the cooking stuff and I miss it. And I think I'm actually going to go for a walk on the beach shortly, but I'm doing a huge overhaul of my hallway. I bought all these really gorgeous tubs that I'm putting all my bed linen and towels and things in. Like, I'm recondoing my whole cupboard, which has lots of things in it. Look, it's not packed or anything, but it doesn't just have bed linen. It's got, like indoor tool sort of things, and it's where Sunny's food is kept and bits and pieces. Anyway, that's all going to get redone. And then the kitchen is also on the list, just to redo the benches and what I've got on there, because I'm hoping I'll free up some room in the cool cupboard and I can get rid of some things from the bench. But to cut a long story short, what I basically need is a permanent camera set up in the kitchen. So when I'm going to cook, I can literally just plug it into my laptop and away we go. The problem at the moment is it takes a long time to set it all up and then to do the show and then to clean the kitchen and then unpack everything. So I'm trying to find a bracket or something that I can literally find the best spot my kitchen's tiny, but try and find a spot where I can have a permanent camera just fixed to the wall and I can move it up and down. And yeah, so it's going to take a little while to set it all up, but it's going to look a bit weird when people visit. They're going to be like, why have you got a camera in your kitchen? But I do have the second camera. I bought it for like $140 or whatever a few months ago, maybe at the end of last year, actually. But yeah, I really miss it. See you, Joey. Hopefully you find the answer to your question. Sorry, I'm not on top of that. I'm trying, like Smooth Criminal, we'll Sleuth the Smooth Criminal. I'm taking that down a completely different road. I'm really focusing on the social media stuff. I'm certainly going to be covering some cases that are interesting, but for the most part, I've decided there's no point in doing what a lot of the other crime following channels do, because I just do not have the time. Things like live streaming court hearings, unless I'm up from midnight till before I have to go to work, I can't do that. We don't broadcast trials in Australia, so I'm being realistic about just focusing sleuths and smooth criminals on the impact social media has on trials and cases, positive and negative. But I really do miss the cooking stuff. And I think if I can have a bit of my tiny bench space cleared to have a little bracket or something where I can have the camera and even potentially a second microphone, and then when I'm going to cook, I can just plug it in and away we go. Because otherwise I have to dismantle all of this stuff that you don't see, and it does actually take a while to do that, and then clear everything out over there and set it. And the other thing that's hard is a lot of the things I cook, it's good to have the stove area on the camera. But there are other things that I make where the bench is better. And then I get feedback from people going, oh, I couldn't see what was happening in the pot. And it's like, well, I can't unplug the camera to drag it across the kitchen to show you and I've tried to do 2 cameras and that was confusing as fuck. So look, yeah. It might just be I might just keep it super simple. But I do miss it. Yeah, the Johnny Depp one was fun as. It was a horrible subject matter, but I think we as a community had such a good time and found ways to have a laugh without it just being piss taking, like. And I really, really loved it. I just know that, and that case did definitely have an impact. Like social media definitely impacted that case for sure. Yeah, and doing uploads, I mean, I could definitely do uploads. And sometimes I think I need to because, like I'll be really hungry and cooking dinner and it'll take me an hour and a half because I'm chatting away on YouTube, whereas I could just do the little video. But then the editing of videos is also something that takes time. It's really tricky because I love it. I mean, I wish I had someone who could just rock up with their camera and walk around and film me doing it all and just upload it in its raw state without it being edited at all. But when you're filming it yourself and you want to get bench shots and then stove shots, then you've got to put it all together. And wouldn't it be lovely to have the money to just pay someone to be my producer, editor, cameraman, camera woman, camera person, people, because even person's got sun in it. Put a GoPro on Sunny Bum. Why? That is the extent. Well, actually, I'd love to when she has the zoomies. She's batshit. She's absolutely batshit when she has the zoomies. But yeah, can you imagine getting a GoPro so you could all just basically... She'd just be filming the couch from the top of her head. That's what you'd be getting. Oh, guys, have a look at what I've done over here. The cat thing that she showed absolutely no interest in at all. I've still got a shelf down the bottom and one up the top, but I've got pots and they're so far away that you don't get to see. They look great. The plants are really beautiful and they're doing really well. So yeah, a bit excited. I finally got a use for it. We're all just going, how cool does it look? It does actually look really cool. Put a GoPro on. Yeah, she's totally batshit, Emily. I'm going to bed now and she's just going nuts around the house while I'm falling asleep, like nuts. Yeah, and it does. I might take some photos of it and put them on my community page so you can see what they look like, because it looks far, far away and you probably can't appreciate that if there are really happy, healthy plants growing in them. The world's most expensive plant holder, though. But anyway, necessity is the mother of invention. Look, I'm going to go, Grooves. I'm going to hang out my washing and make some lunch. Thank you so, so much for being beautiful and subbing over on the Worker Assist page, and hopefully I will see some of you on Monday, and I'll probably be doing another 16. Yay! I'll probably be doing another live. Well, I will be doing another live. I do have a story I want to cover on smooth criminal, but on sleuths and smooth criminals. But I'll also probably ask everyone to do a favour at the end of that live and sub over as well. And it'd be great if a few of you are able to pop in. It's an hour and a half, so there's plenty of time just to drop in and say hi. I've got a huge presentation and a massive script. I like to do things off the top of my head, but I have got a massive script, and there's no way I'm going to get through even, I don't think, a quarter of it. I think my boss will see how quickly time flies on YouTube. So it'd be awesome if some of you can join in. Have a beautiful weekend. I'm not sure when I'm going to be live on my other channel, but keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I miss the cooking too. I think part of the reason I don't do a lot of cooking in summer, which is silly because I make amazing salads, and I keep thinking, oh, nobody's going to want to watch someone making a salad. And in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, actually, I would. Once you've found great salad recipes, it changes your life. So I really should share them because I've got some doozies. But there might even be some cooking happening very soon. The question I did have, though, is if Doodle's still around or if the remaining people in chat. I think everyone's left. YouTube says there's 4 of you. StreamYard says there's 11. StreamYard's lying. Do I just cook on this channel and use the Shitty Kitty Kitchen as like a little archive where I can upload things and so on, and just start using Tasmanian produce, and which is what I do anyway. I eat locally and seasonally, and just do cooking on here rather than having a third channel. Like use the Shitty Kitty Kitchen because there's like 160 subs over there, and I was thinking that's basically just where I could archive. So it's a 100% cooking channel. What do you think? Salads, smoothies, and soups. You're a fan of those things, Scout? I am too. And I've been making some yummy soups as well because that's another thing when it starts to get cold, bring on the soups. But yeah, I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, well, it's very Tasmanian. It's a cooking segment. It suits his channel. Save everything onto that's cooking related. Everything in one. There's always going to be 2 because there'll always be the crime channel and there'll always be the Tasmania channel. I used to do everything in one and it was too unfocused and people couldn't work out what the channel was about. Whereas if I'm like, we're cooking today with some Tasmanian spinach, and I've also got another channel that I'm really keen to launch fairly soon that will probably surprise a lot of people. It's probably going to attract a completely different audience on YouTube, but it'd be great if some of you guys end up joining that community too. But it could be a surprise to people what I'm doing. Where would you do parodies then? 2 or 4 or watch? Where would you do parodies then? Well, I think if it's true crime community related, then it can be on, I don't know, Emily. It's hard. I mean, I haven't done parodies since I've only done one. I mean, it was great, fun, but probably, to be honest, I'd keep them over here and I would just explain that it's, yeah, I haven't thought about it actually. Can you tell? I don't know. They're not on, Not on my list of priorities at the moment. Oh, I'm so itchy. My nose is itchy now too. I need to go hang out some washing, and it was epic. Maybe that's the best way to leave it though, as a one-off. Because the thing is, to be honest, I mean, I could have built a channel taking the piss out of all the YouTubers that we came to know and love and not love over the last 5 years, and probably would have become quite a big channel, you know, or at least wouldn't have disappeared off the algorithm. Even I think about doing reaction videos and stuff still. But the other thing is I kind of need to leave that community far behind me because they distract me from doing things on my channels. If I stick in that community or keep an eye on them, which I've always felt like I should, because I want to see how they're interfering with cases and so on. And then I will listen to a live for an hour and a half and I'll be like, you could have been live for an hour and a half doing something with your channel. So, yeah, I mean, whether there ends up being a time when I've got enough time to do that, maybe there might be some little parody shorts. But, yeah, you've made me think because I don't know. Do I want to have... Is that a component that I could put on Sleuths and Smooth Criminals? It seems to make more sense that it would be over there. But then will that take away from the seriousness of some of the topics that I cover? I personally don't think it will, because I like to use humour even in the most bleak of situations. But there's certainly a lot of people out there that have an issue with it. I don't know. We'll have to chat about it sometime, Emily. But it's not a priority. The parodies, they were fun, but yeah. I mean, if I had the time, I would love to just do YouTube all day, every day. Feed my floof with my proceeds. Oh, I got my bloody American tax document thing today. Why is your form so tiny? Like the boxes. And I don't even know I have to do one. Like, I think this channel literally made me $45 this financial year, and I've still got to do this confusing paperwork for you guys, that the boxes are so tiny. It's really, I have to use I don't, but I feel like I have to use a magnifying glass just to read the form. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, no, sorry, Emily. I don't feel like I was beating you up for asking. It just got me thinking. And I don't know is the answer. That's all. I hadn't thought about it. But yeah, your tax forms are crazy. Let me grab it before I log off and show you what I'm talking about. I got it in my mail. Oh, hang on, I'm going to put it around the way it was. That's better. So, yes, I picked up my mail. I don't want to dox myself. Important tax return documents enclosed. Right. And then, again, without doxing myself, but what's going on? Like, this is an A4 piece of paper. Why is all that space down the bottom and it's all cramped up the top? And then this form. Like, I have big, left-handed, curvy, American-like writing. It doesn't fit in this. And I never understand what I'm doing. And I think I got 40. Oh, no, it might be a bit more than that, but it's nowhere near even $300. The Paperwork Reduction Use Act, but we do it online. It's all digital, our tax return. There's no paper. Foreign persons' US source income subject to withholding. I think last year I ended up watching something on YouTube, an American dude, and he was just like, if you're under X amount of money, just don't file it because you've already been I can't remember what it was, whether you've been taxed or you won't be entitled to any return anyway, or if it's under $500 a year, that whatever they're called, is it TRS, whatever you call them, but they don't care. I definitely don't make nearly enough. I did it one year and then you don't get any sort of response either. Like, they don't sort of tell you the outcome or so you can be a non-filer? Because I did it. I think this must be my third lot. And it's weird too because we go by a financial year, whereas you guys do the calendar year. So when I worked for the American company, when it got to the end of the year, like December, we were all frantic with Christmas. It wasn't summer holidays for them, so the offices didn't shut anywhere in the world, even though it was summer holidays here. And all the accounts departments were incredibly stressed because of all the tax stuff. It was just kind of like December, Christmas was just like a weekend, whereas in Australia, it's like your summer in the middle of the year. So we have Christmas, we have school holidays, we have summer break, and offices close, and so different. So different. But then our end of our financial year, which is the 30th of June, is like what your calendar financial year was like for us in December. I might be a non-filer. Look out. I certainly don't, I don't think I even qualify. Do you guys have a tax-free threshold? Oh, thanks, Emily. Well, if I have any, I'll let you know. I'll think my questions through, though. But Groovers, I'm going to go. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you so much for subbing and really appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a fabulous weekend. I'm absolutely stoked that we've tripled the number of subscribers. So at the very least, I can show I've got a bit of a crowd occurring. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Take care and bye from Sunny and I. Sunny's awake. Say goodbye, Moogie. Bye, everybody. See you all soon. Stay groovy, everyone.